Expectations is one of the best things you can have because that gives you that clarity to where you want to go. But understand, what type of expectation do you need to focus on? I want you guys to imagine that goal that you have as the end of the staircase. This end of the staircase is that end goal that you want to reach to. So the thing is, when you're creative, and this is something that I used to do a lot, is when you're creative and there's many routes that you can go to because you have several skills, you imagine yourselves reaching every single one of these goals. But understand, it is impossible to go to 5 separate directions at the same time. So you need to focus on one. What tends to happen is you go through one direction, then you start to overthink. Oh, I could be doing the other one better. Then you go back and you start the other one. And then what tends to happen is you stop and go back in several different directions that you actually end up getting none of them done. So you've wasted so much energy and time and you go nowhere, which then you start to overthink what's going to come to my future, what's going to happen. I've been putting the work in. But the issue is you need to focus on the outcome, the expectation that you want, that end of the staircase, that tree. So imagine you want a tree. You already know the tree that you want. So now that you know the outcome, you need to focus on the input. You plant the seed, you water it. You don't worry more about the tree, because for you to have that tree or see the fruitage, you just need to focus on the input of planting the seed, watering it, because then what's going to happen? The tree will grow. You don't focus about what's going to happen to the tree. You just focus on watering the plant and making sure that that grows. And it sounds so obvious, but it's not. And that's what we have to do with ourselves. There's this end goal that we want to reach. Our expectation is we want to get there. We want to get that physique. We want to apply for that new job. No matter what it is, we have that end goal, that vision that we want. So what do? We have to think about the input. Now we have our outcome that we want. We think of the input. So every single day, your expectation should be, what can I do today to maximize, to water the plant? What can I do today that's going to get me closer to that end goal that I want? And that's the only thing you need to think about. You think about doing that today, tomorrow, the day after. Have that daily process in line to get there. Because at the start, it's going to feel very monotonous. It's going to feel like the same thing. But the same way when you're going up a flight of stairs is the same thing. But you're going up. At that time, you don't see it, but you are going up. As if you're going to a destination, you keep on following the Google Maps. You keep walking. It's repetitive, but you get to the destination. That's what your expectation should always be, that. So stop overthinking about what's going to happen in the future. Am I going to reach that goal? Just think about what can you do today. That's the only thing you should ever focus on. Once you have that in check, the only time you become anxious, ask yourself, am I going to miss? Am I going to stop putting in the work today? Am I going to stop keeping up the expectation of maximizing today to get me close to where I want to become tomorrow? If the answer is you're not going to miss, then you have nothing to be anxious about. The reason you are anxious is because you tried to work your way out of not doing it. That's when you should be anxious, when you're not working towards that goal. But if you're putting everything that you can today to get closer, then there's no reason for you to be anxious. So ask yourself, are you going to miss?